This is our slacklining kit. We have 5 ovals, 2 line lockers, we've got 2 blue slings, and we've got 1 orange line that we're going to walk on. What I'm first going to do is find the center of the sling, because we've got small trees and we've got a long line here. So I've got the center, or pretty close to it, and I'm just going to wrap it around the tree. Center it a little bit towards the direction of the other tree and put my first oval in. Okay. I bring the line towards myself, so now I've got dashes on top of dashes, and I'm going to put the line locker through the loop. Now I'm going to bring it back towards myself a second time, and I'm going to wrap it underneath and through the line locker again. Yeah, it's stuck. So in the end, it looks like this. This is my tail. And I'm going to, from the tree, take the oval and put the oval through this entire hole that I've created, and then just pull it tight. Now that won't come undone. The line flat all the way across. Just set it on the ground flat. Again, I'm just going to find the center of the sling. Like right about here, and wrap it around the tree. Again, I want to keep the direction of pull towards the other tree and make them even as possible at least. Another thing I like is I don't like for this knot to be on the tree itself, and I don't like the water knot to be on the oval. I like it to be somewhere in this orientation here. Next, we're going to need our 3rd carabiner and 1 more line locker. So I like to make the line tight, and I just hold it up against the beaner, and this is pulled far away from the tree, and this is pulled somewhat tight, and I just do 1 arm's length. That's how I find the spot on the walking line where I'm going to put the next line locker. So I've got my dashes up, and I always pull it towards me. So I've got the dashes on top of the dashes, and I take this loop, and this is where I put the line locker. Make a little space, and again I fold towards myself. So I've got the line locker here, and then it's going to be the same thing. I go underneath and through the line locker. This one's always a little bit harder because you've got the line behind you, but make it work. So now I need to put this oval through, and what I should have shown you before is I looked at the other beaner to figure out where the gate is, and I want the gates to end up on the same side. So this time I ultimately want the gate to end up in this orientation, so it's on the same side as the other one. So to make that happen, I need to put it in from this side, and then when I rotate it, it will be on the proper side. So I like to keep things tidy here, and just pull it tight, get everything all nice and clean, and the beaner will always end up on the bottom. So pulling this line, I can then put it through the other beaner. So it went over and over the top. And I always keep it flat, keeping it flat. Now I want to go back the other direction, so I'm going to roll it back the other way, which will pull the beaner with it in a second here. So it comes through here and from the bottom and rolls back up, always keeping the line flat. Now I start at the top, down through like this, and now this new line needs to be underneath the other one. So you just want to work it under there. Then I'm going to do I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be in this orientation like this. So it's going to go through the locking device and then underneath. Just want to go under, and always keeping everything flat and clean, neat and tidy. After you get it here, before you pull it tight, the other thing I like to do is to clean up the trees. There's two things I'm looking for. One of them is just to make sure that there's no kinks in it. The more kinks you have in it, the more likely you're going to dig into the tree.
Show a kink.
That would be a kink like that. When you go to pull, it's going to want to dig into the tree. And the other thing that I don't have here that would be really nice would be a piece of cardboard or a piece of carpet around the tree. The other thing that you can do right now is make sure that these portions here are pointing at the other tree. And we'll walk to the other tree real quick. You can see this one, it's off center a little bit. So you can just kind of work things around a little bit. You could also at this time move it up or down on the tree if it ended up too high or too low. This would be the chance to fix that.
There's
so
a kink.
Oh yeah. Thanks. So I pull, and when I can't pull anymore, it's probably not tight enough. So we have 2 more line lockers. And on this side, all I do is I like to create a little slip knot. You can see that here. This one I made a little too far away, but you can make it closer when you do it yourself. So I've got one beaner through here. The other beaner goes on here. And then you can put it through the first beaner. I guess that's the second beaner. Back through the first. Keeping everything flat. You don't want any bends, any rolls in the line. And now it's much easier to pull the line tight. And if that's not enough, if you want it tighter, you can do this whole thing again by taking this out, pulling out the slip knot, and putting in a new slip knot. So now all of this, just make it flat. And now you can pull it in. Done, and you need to take the whole thing apart. Right now it won't come apart. You could walk on this line and it would be solid. But when you're done, you can undo the 2 extra beaners. So now if it's the end of the day and you want to take things down, the way I would do that is I'm holding it very far away from the beaner because I don't want to get pinched. So we're just pulling it, and if it doesn't come all the way out, what you can do is very gently put it through. Well, this one came out. It won't come out on the next one. I'll show you on the next one. So now you can pull out the second side, and again, you're just pulling out the top, angle, pulling out the bottom, and there it goes. So it just came out. Sometimes if they don't come out, I find it a little bit easier. You can put the line up through the top, and then pull this one out through the top. But at any rate, just keep your fingers away so you don't get pinched and pull hard and it will come apart. It comes apart pretty easily. The only last thing that you would need to do is to take the beaners out. But I think that's relatively easy. You can just break them. And when it breaks apart like that, everything comes out pretty easily, and you can store your line locker on your beaner so you don't lose it. That's it. That's how to set up a slackline.